What's up, everybody? It's What's That Meowth Do? With some Marvel Snap content, but not like gameplay or like clips like I usually do. More of like a debate, like a discussion topic. And I think a real hot topic in Marvel Snap right now is the rework to Spider-Man. So, if you're not familiar with the game, Spider-Man was a 5/4 that essentially prevented the other player from playing a card in the same lane on the next turn. So, became a little toxic because people would find a way to play Galactus early, play Spider-Man, and they can't play a card on their last turn in the only lane. So they decided that they were going to change Spider-Man into a 3/5 and not only make him playable earlier, make him a little bit more powerful, but his ability completely changed that he moves somewhere else and takes an opponent with him, which makes him a little more move decky than control decky, gives him more synergy with the rest of like the Spider-Verse and how they kind of manipulate the board. A lot of them move around. I mean, Spider-Woman does like the nerf thing, but you get it. When they released this change and released the notes, they had mentioned the real reason behind it was Spider-Man is one of the most popular Marvel characters, and people hated the ability, and they didn't want people thinking poorly of such a historically popular character. So probably don't expect a lot of more reworks any soon. Just this is the reason for this one. But just because they said more unlikely doesn't mean that more are impossible. So I want to present my case for what I think could be another rework using their same logic with a tweak. So I think a real popular character in Marvel that is unplayable is Adam Warlock. Adam Warlock could use some love, and not just because they kind of made him a goof in the MCU. I like what they did for what they did, but that wasn't the Adam Warlock we wanted, and I think a lot of hardcore fans agree. Adam Warlock is a 2/0, and if at the end of your turn you're winning the lane, you draw a card. Now, if you spend 2 energy to present no power, kind of makes it hard to win the lane. So I feel like because it's so unlikely it goes off, it just becomes a card no one plays, and it stinks because I love my variants. I like Adam Warlock. The obvious thing to change would, I guess, be to buff him, maybe make him like a 2/2, and then you slam him down. Hopefully they don't play somewhere there. Turn 2, you at least get a card. You at least get to draw a card. But to be completely frank, I don't think there's a need for card draw in Marvel Snap. It's already like a game of you have 10 cards, you have no duplicates. There's only like 2 or 3 cards you're not going to see in your deck, most likely. So to spend a turn to just maybe get a card later just doesn't seem like there's room for it. So my pitch, and this is based on Marvel lore and Adam Warlock lore, what could they change to Adam Warlock using his backstory to remove the card draw aspect and give it a mechanic that's new and could be exciting and maybe be expanded upon later? And I came up with his cocoon. So, we've seen in the movie, he was created in the cocoon, the MCU. In Marvel lore, the cocoon like revitalizes him and brings him greater power. So what if you played a 2/0 Adam Warlock? On reveal, he enters the cocoon. And then the cocoon has like an ongoing of like, or maybe not an ongoing because like that wording's weird for it, but after 3 turns and less disrupted, or after 3 undisrupted turns, the cocoon releases Adam Warlock, and Adam Warlock releases it this time as an 8 power card. So you're investing early 2 mana for a later greater power, and maybe that makes him useless if you draw him late, but you could say the same about cards like Ebony Maw. And I think it adds strategy to both sides of the board, because you, as the person who played Adam Warlock, going to protect him. So you might throw an armor there. You might throw an echo there. The other side can try to disrupt him. They can... This is where the ongoing thing might make it work better, even if it sounds weird wordy. Play like a rogue or an enchantress, a Professor X to stop the cocoon from hatching, a card we just talked about, Sputterman, to move him to another lane. And this way, you stuck the opponent with the 2-0 Adam Warlock that's kind of a goof. And in the MCU, in the Guardians movie, Guardians 3, we're told the reason that Adam Warlock's kind of a goof is because he hatched early. So I feel like all of these things are like, these changes would be movie supported. So I don't know anything. I'm not a pro. I'm not an expert. I've heard 0 rumors. I'm speaking as a fan of the game, a fan of the genre, a fan of superhero movies that wants to play Adam Warlock. And if you think you have a better idea, whether it's just buff him as is, not a cocoon, but maybe give him the same Guardians of the Galaxy synergy that the Guardians of the Galaxy tend to have, tell me in the comments, talk to me, tweet me, let's talk about it, let's have a discussion. I'm down. Let's talk about Marvel Snap all day, every day. And of course, if you like these ideas, you like my clips, or if you just want to hang out and you just want to talk, follow me on all the socials and the Twitch and the YouTube, What That Meowth Do. Think about it. I think it could work. Catch you later.